Right then, welcome back to the channel. Time for a tactical preview. We're going to have a look a little bit at what Sunderland do. I'm going to give you my team. I'm going to tell you how I think this game can be won for Manchester United. Now the Brentford storm has passed, we do have another football game to focus on, and it just makes a refreshing change not to be talking about the situation the manager is in, but he got to win this game. Otherwise, if you thought last week was noisy, you ain't seen anything yet. If this isn't a win, and I'm not talking about avoiding loss either, it needs to be a win. That's it. Sunderland have been a bit of a surprise package in the Premier League so far. I thought they would stay up. I looked at the signings they made, and I looked at the fact that here's what happens. Teams get promoted by... There's a lot of teams been playing some real, aggressive football in the Championship in recent years. And they kind of fancy themselves. They knock it about. They've got better players than the sum of the Championship, and then they get to the Premier League and they try and play the same sort of way, and then they get found out, and then they get clarted and they go back home. Sunderland didn't do that. Sunderland were pretty hard to beat. They had a good defence. They kept it tight. They looked to let you have the ball, and they would try and break you down on the counter and with set plays. Oh, you mean the two things that United are garbage at? Yes, I do. Nightmare, right? And because of that, and then a couple of decent signings, Xhaka especially, was very, very smart. And I think what they've done has been smart. This is a must-win game for United, and there is nobody about to listen that, oh, Sunderland are actually harder to beat. They're better than you want to give them credit for. You got to beat them. But they're going to be a lot harder than you anticipate. And we are devoid of confidence at the moment. The gaffer will be feeling the pressure. 17 losses in 33 league games is simply not good enough. A win against Sunderland is expected, but not easy. And it will do very little to calm the doubts. It will be a case of, okay, maybe you don't get sacked this week. I'll see you at weekend. But he still needs to do it. As it stands, Sunderland are fifth with 11 points in 6 games, which is a remarkable start for a newly promoted side under Le Bris. Now, like I said, they've got an interesting style of play. Le Bris was kind of known for his time at Lorient, and he adapted the blueprint that he played last season to the Championship, and it's working for them. It is pragmatic, it is adaptable, it's defensive resilience, and it's opportunistic counter-attacks. He has a bit of a philosophy of youth development, and he seems to have transitioned and adapted nicely to English football, to be honest with you. They will play 4-2-3-1. They will be a 4-4-2 mid-block out of possession. They will try and amplify that defensive solidity. They've only conceded 4 goals. It's one of the best in the Premier League so far this season. Their build-up will be a 4-2. It is safe. You will see Robin Roofs, goalkeeper, involved in the build-up. You will see probably one midfielder pushed to create overloads a little bit higher up the pitch. And Roofs has had a very sensational start to life as Sunderland's number 1. The shot stopping on him is impressive, but he's got a bit of a confident command of the penalty area as well, which is probably the biggest standout thing about him. Sunderland have got a bit of a defensive principle that has resulted in them having the 4th lowest for pressing aggression. A very, very, very low PPDA, passes per defensive action, of 15.25. They go zonal to man in a 4-2-3-1. They will transition to man-on triggers. You will sometimes see Isidore jump out from being the number 10 to go and push onto one of the centre-halves if he gets into his zone. Xhaka will cover the pivot. They've got aerial strength. They will win second balls. And that defensive solidity has pushed them up the table and made them hard to beat. The defensive pairing of Alderete and Mukiele has started all 6 league games so far for them so far. That has been a impressive defensive cornerstone for them. They've got aerial dominance and composure, especially in a low block, and they are doing nothing but coming to Old Trafford to low block. And he's actually got a touch of class about him. There is an explosive athleticism and physical advantage, which makes him a bit of a goal threat at the other end. And he's got on-the-ball ability that makes him quite viable in the build-up. And he's a warrior. Our weakness at set plays will have these two centre-halves licking their lips. Now, their attack, as you can imagine, is direct and transition-focused. They average 42% possession, and they're looking for fast breaks in the wide areas. Against the back three, that's problems. They have proven themselves to be very effective in that transition. They're getting 2.3 shots per break on counters, or shots and breaks on counters. Their mid-block is the catalyst for those counters. 85% of ground duels, they are winning in midfield. It's unheard of sort of numbers. Then the ball gets progressed wide, and then it gets sent forward. They have created overloads on the flanks. They will target half space with crosses or runs. Lafay excels in there. And they've got a reliance on playing this pragmatic, patient, mid-block instead of, that high press that so many teams have come out of the Championship trying to adopt. They are going to be a problem for us. They're not trying to fit in. They're trying to be different. And that's what's working for them. They've only conceded one first half goal all season. But they are far from perfect. Games do open up from a little bit in the second half. Is that a squad depth fitness thing? Is that something United can take advantage of? We will find out. The star man for Sunderland will be Granit Xhaka. He has been a sensational signing for him. Not only the fact he's got 3 assists in his short time, 6 games, but he's had an instant impact. They give him the captain's armband on arrival, and he's really taken to the role. He's been a sensational signing for them to be, and if he keeps them up, how impactful is that? Now, the United team that I've gone for, certainly not perfect. And I still think it'll be a 3-4-3. So 3-4-3, Lammens in net, please. If you're going to blood him at any point, this is the game that you have to do it. Can't do it at Anfield. So Lammens in net, Euro, De Ligt, and Heaven as my back three. They're going to hit us with pace on the counter. Heaven and Euro are there for that. They're going to be a threat at set plays, and they're going to want to try and go man for man with us. De Ligt is there for that. So the back three all have a use. And I trust that back three to be able to play out and organise as well. I've gone with Mainoo and Bruno. They're two quite offensive midfielders. I'm going to ask them to have one of them sit at least and not press when we get transitioned on. But I'm looking to those two to look after the ball better than I would expect Ugarte to look after the ball. Dorgu on the left, Ahmad on the right. We have to go for it, which is why that midfield has to sit as well. And then Mbeumo, Cunha and Sesko. We've got to service Sesko in this game. We've got to look for that flick on. There will not be a lot of space in behind. So the likes of Ahmad and the neat little interplay that he has with those just inside of him, the 1-2, make a run, that's the sort of stuff that's going to make it where Manchester United can carve Sunderland open. And then I think the likes of Xerxes will be really big off the bench for us in this game. But I'll be honest with you, I'm nervous going into this one because it isn't an easy game. They will not make it an easy game. I think to beat them, United need to remain very patient. So we've got to play our part in the Stretford end and the rest of the ground. They're going to set out to frustrate. Know that. You're not just going to turn up and put 4 past these. As they start to slow down, as they start to make mistakes in the second half, the strength and depth in our attack and some of the options that we can bring off Xerxes, Mount, if they don't start, could be quite useful for us off the bench. Turning up the heat later in the game as they get mentally and physically tired will force mistakes, and that's where they've been a bit iffy this season. We've got proven forwards. I hope that we're still in the game to be able to smell blood at that time and be able to stick it on them. And when I say still in the game, I don't mean like, I think we'll still be in the game, even if we're not winning at that time. I hope it's like, it's not gone to rat shit. Do you know what I mean? They are capable of beating us, but I think what's more likely is they're capable of 0-0ing us. I think it's going to be a scrappy 2-1 win for United. And we'll take the win, but we're going to be going afterwards, because I think it'll be I don't know if poor quality is fair, because I think they'll just make it very difficult for us. But if there's more control from United, I'll be happy with that. And I'll be happy with the 3 points for sure. But let me know how you think this game is going to go. Have they been a surprise package for you, or was you clocking what they were about last season? Because, I thought they would stay up. I thought they, out of the 3 coming up, I thought they were the ones that was most likely to stay up. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you lot in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.